Good morning. Welcome to Cat's Cottage. I'm in here waiting on my coffee. While I'm waiting, I think I'll put away some dishes. This is one of those food savers. Saucer. Okay. Put my silverware over here. Okay. Looks like I got coffee. Y'all see my new cup. I used to use these cups and saucers all the time. I knew how to carry them, but it seemed like I'm all club hands or something here. I'm going to bring y'all down to where I'm sitting. There we go. Now, it's cold this morning. 38, 39 degrees. Just love this little cup. This porcelain Mikasa cup. Mm. Couldn't find the saucers to it. I looked around the store. Didn't see any saucers. And maybe I'll go over there today. Maybe I'll see them. I don't know. Probably not. She might have given the dish set away to somebody and forgot 2 cups, so they ended up at the Goodwill. I mean the Salvation Army. But I've got them in this other green dish that I'm steadily, now I got 2 dishes I'm trying to find, which most likely I won't. Only way to get anything to it is order it online. I'd have to order the cup to this, and they would sell only the saucer and cup, and then I'd have to buy the saucer and cup to this to get the dish. So these 2 poor souls go together. Yeah, that's the only way I used to drink my coffee. This is the kind of cup my mama drank out of. You know, our mamas drink. They didn't drink out of a mug. They drank out of one of these coffee cups. You know. It reminds me of a little story. Uh, I had a I had lunch with her every Sunday, and I would have liked to have called her my friend, but she wasn't. She did things behind my back. Uh, but anyway, God bless her. As the Southerners say when they talk about somebody, they say, "Well, God bless her," but blah blah blah. You know. Well, God bless her. But I'm gonna tell a little story. She's dying to come over to the house. You know, she got a new house and got everything new. Even though that's why we were together. We went to estate sales. Me and her and my husband and her husband together. You know, we had a lot of fun. But she never would let herself go as far as being a good friend. You know, you might have somebody like that. I don't know. Um, but anyway, she wanted to come see the house, inside of the house. And I'm not sure. She hadn't been in here a while, or hadn't been in here at all, or something. I can't remember now. But she had to be the nosiest individual that I've ever known. I've never known anybody else as nosy as her. She had to know all the details about everybody in your life. She had, I mean, to detail. She was a realtor. Now, I don't know if that meant that caused her to do that or not, but anyway, she thought she knew everything about home and home design. She'd make these books, folder books, and she'd cut out pictures from magazines, and she'd put them all together. And she'd say, this is what I'm going to get, and I'm going to get this somehow close to it, and I'm going to put it in my house. Well, her house was nice. She did a good job. So she kind of was good at decorating, but she had a way of making people feel bad about things. But anyway, let me get to my story. She came over. We were all there in the living room over there talking and carrying on. So she said, I want to see the house. So I took her around, and we got into the kitchen. And I said, I've got some coffee making, you know. And anyway, I drank at the time. I drank out of these kind of cups with a saucer. That's the way I did it. And so I thought, well, this is company. I'll get them out, one of these. So I took one in there to her husband, Ted, and he was nice. He took, he took the saucer and the cup, you know, like a normal human. If I just hand you a mug, that's okay too. You grab the mug and okay. I don't want to spill on this lady's nice chair here, so I'm gonna, uh, but anyway, I got to get to the end of the story. Or I could spare y'all. Well, first off, she hurt my feelings. You know, it's hard for me to hurt my feelings. The job that I had, I was insulted daily. Oh, uh, anyway, she said, "This is the best you can do." I said, "What are you talking about?" She's trying to talk quiet in the kitchen in there. My husband and Ted were in the living room area there talking. And they're talking men stuff. He said, "This is the best you can do." I said, what are you talking about? What's wrong? This is an old house. You're not going to do any better. You've done the best you can do. And I'm like, God almighty. Can't you just relax, lady, and just talk about other things and try to sit down and enjoy yourself? Why you got to try to insult my old house? Anyway, so I thought, well, okay. And I got her the cup and the saucer, and I got me one, and I poured them up right there, on the counter there in front of her. And I thought we were going in there in the living room to talk. I picked my cup up, and I'm walking with my cup and saucer, and she wasn't behind me. And thought, oh, what have I done? I've I messed the coffee up or something. Maybe she wants more cream or something. I don't know. So I turned around and went back, and she was in there. I don't want to drop this cup. She had her finger out like this. And I'm like, holy cow. And I'm standing there looking at her. And boy, she straightened up so strict when she saw me that I'd caught her. I didn't say anything to her. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I said, would you prefer a mug? I have mugs. I usually use them for my hot chocolate or if I go outside. I said, I have some mugs. Oh, she said, oh no. But now when I see these cups, I think of that. I think of her. Um, I used to go out to see my sister before she passed. And, oh, she treated me. My sister was mean as a yard dog. She used to beat me as a child. She was evil. But, but she loved to have company and serve tea or coffee. She set her table up so nice. And she would wear big, big earrings, big old shiny, sparkly earrings, and put on some nice clothes and stuff. She's having a tea party, and she waited on me, you know, catered to me. She had stuff on the side and cut sandwiches and you know, that's how I learned about those cookies that you dip in the coffee. Biscotti, yeah. And that's the way she was. I mean, it was like I was wonderful at that time. But when that was over with, it was back. It was back to watching your back. But that's the way my older sister was. She was 3 years older than me. And anyway, the lady that came and made fun of my house, she was the same age as my sister. So I thought, that's it right there. That's that age. That's they're mean. So I tolerated both of them. And but anyway, I always had that memory come back about her. You know. So I thought, okay, she comes over here again. If she's gonna get the ugliest beat up mug I can find. I might give her my husband's cup. But it's strange how we hold on to memories like that, isn't it? Of course, I got a lot of memories of that lady. She pulled a lot of stuff on me. But anyway, um, it's cold, and I just don't want to go out in the cold. I like to get out in my garden. I like to go to those some of those centers and look at. I always like looking at the flowers that come in. Aren't they something? But um, I'm too cold. I've never been this cold in my life. You know, I've always got out there. You know, when we were standing in line to go into the Salvation Army, you have to stand in line. It goes at 10 o'clock, and they were late. They were 5 minutes behind, and they were in the back there. Having a good time in the back of the building. And excuse me. But anyway, my husband said it's cold. This weather's cold. It's cold. He's trying to get this closer and closer. I said, if you'll recall, this was the weather we liked, if you recall. And we go out and run in this mess. And we thought it felt so good. Now, what's wrong with you? Just pretend you're running while you're standing here. um, yeah, when we finally got in, 10 minutes later, I fussed at her. She was a temporary manager. She wasn't the manager. I was hoping it was the manager. She'd probably took an axe and whacked me. She's one of those too. But I fussed at her. I said, "What happened? You kind of got a little behind this morning, didn't you?" You know, she just stayed in the back talking and carrying on and forgot us lying all the way around the building, freezing. Oh boy. There was a guy in there. He was so tall. Oh, I'm envious of people that are tall. I've always wanted to be tall. Well, he walked up to the. They have the stuff in circular stands. They're not in rows. I wish they were in rows. But we'd probably block each other in. We block each other in anyway. But he was so tall, and he could just look over the stand. He could look over the top of the stand, like that. And I thought that is no fair. I've got a all the way around the thing. I'm 5'6". He must have been, I don't know, 7 something. He was way up there. It'd been dizzy for me up there. I'd had to get a ladder. But it was so cool. Just, oh gosh. I looked at him, I thought, there's no way I can get to anything before you do. But anyway, I guess I'll go. And I'm feeling pretty good, and I hope everybody else is feeling good. And I know this cold weather is going to pass eventually. I don't mind cold, and I don't mind hot. It's just this wet cold. It's all wet from this water, and there's some water that's still sitting up in places. And it's cold now, and that hurts. And y'all can see I'm starting to get snow hair. So, it's I'm gonna stay right here. Right here. This is where I'm gonna stay, right here. Nice heater. Nice to see my heater. Nice heater going. Wonderful television. Could turn on the heat. I don't have the heat on though. But how much better what else do you want? Got some eggs in the I heard somebody say ice box the other day, and I loved it. I haven't said ice box and I don't know when. I got some eggs and bacon in the ice box. Um, I got it made, don't I? What else could I have except heaven? But I'm gonna say goodbye, and I love Mama Casa, really do. And I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody, and I'll talk to y'all again later.